This is Ashtar from Ashtar Command. We are here to serve all of you. Happy New Year.
Hello, Ashtar. Happy New Year to all of you out there. It is a pleasure to connect with you once again.
We are extremely excited for the year of the beginning. This is indeed a new beginning of the year.
Indeed, and as you are probably very aware of, it started pretty wild so far.
Yes.
So we would really love to hear a little bit of your perspective of what is occurring right now. I think many people are quite anxious and worried, or just shocked with what is happening, and it would be very helpful if you give us a little bit of your insight.
What is happening is, I'm sure a lot of you heard of the fall of the cabal, so you called. All these people or entities or energies who are on that side, they could no longer hide. So what is going on? People started to seeing what's really going on within their systems, which is including political structures or how illusions, basically, what's being told as real instead of some of you started to see what's really going on in intellectual level, which they call as awakened people as well. They're not necessarily spiritually awakened yet, but they were in the first step of awakening. So now, beginning of 2021 is first year of all this background stuff was going on in the history of human beings. Finally, people could see what's really going on, who is the control side, and what was really placed upon in your society. So all these events which is happening or started happening right now, which is revealing of 3D, which is also collapsing of 3D. Because once you see what's really going on, you can keep on going on anymore. So it'll be extremely uncomfortable for some people because it's easier to believe what being fed to. It's not easy for people to see they've been secretly enslaved by a particular group of humans and beings who wanted to share their wealth and power among these people only. But that's what is going to happen, and then people started to see what is really going on. A lot of people, some of the spiritual community wanted to have a disclosure or arrest, mass arrest. And we were saying over and over, you have to focus on not to chaos, but within yourself and within your world, which is also today's suggestion for you to do in order to bring yourself back into peace. Of course, it is not to see what's going on, so you can also see them and I witness them, but you don't have to sink deep into the chaos and start losing your balance. But It is very important for all of you to see, especially people who are not awakened yet, what is really going on. So you can question yourself that, is this the world you want? Do you want to start creating your peaceful, free earth for all or for chosen people? So this is a beginning of restructuring and rebirthing of this planet, which has happened because all of you agreed to proceed to 5D, and Earth has shifted to 5D on the December 21st. So this is one of the physical ripple effect you are starting to see in 3D reality. And some of the realities are not comfortable.
Thank you, Ashtar. Well, yes, I was also not very surprised with what is happening right now. I know it's every change includes challenges, and we are going through a huge shift right now. From your perspective, could you perhaps give us, if you would read the energies, for how long do you think humanity will go through this transition until we see things really calming down and the new systems being implemented?
We would say first year will be the most difficult time, means this year emotionally. But it's not all of you want to accept what new truth you're finding out. It's much easier to believe certain political figure you rooted in or nice person instead of, you know, this person was doing something insidious. So, or some people do have their preference on political party. And then it's very difficult for them to see it's not about political party or religious organization. It's about people, selective of people who decided to be the part of the ruling system, or people who are not. So these events are happening so people can start seeing people as people instead of, okay, they belong to this group, I believe in this person because this person is believing in this group or this religious organization. This gives people to see person as a person, and what they do is more important than where or what they belong to. So this will be very shocking wake-up call experiences this year. And those of you who know about the truth or what's going on, it wasn't really shocking for those of you. But you started to experience people around you who didn't believe you, started to come to you in panic or with anxiety or having extremely difficult emotional condition because they don't even know what to believe in anymore. And that's where you are coming in. You have been experiencing or finding out the truth much earlier than these people. So nothing gonna surprise you when you find out in mainstream media eventually what is going on. but you can play the role of calming people around you and helping those people out who come to you. So this year will be, for those of you, a very busy year to serve your role as a light worker or starseed. Because many of you wanted to play physical role instead of just being here. So this year is the beginning of that.
So that means that everything will intensify this year.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any comment on the events of yesterday in Washington, D.C.?
This incident was a realistic example of dark versus light. We weren't there because this energy of hate or fight will delay your ascension. But if we have to explain, that's what went on. As all of you already are aware, ascension is 100% happening. So there is no room for these group entities or humans can continue their traditional way of their world. Their world is collapsing. So what's happened yesterday was they're trying to have fear of last fight because they are not going to be taken down easily. And they wanted to continue their empire. So since they still have control in mainstream media and majority of the people are not waking up spiritually or intellectually, they think they still have a chance to overturn the ascension. But that is not happening. What happened yesterday was 80% of the people who are there weren't even involved in the fight. They were eyewitnessing what's going on, but they weren't there to storm into the building and fight with the police or go and give harm to the politicians. It was staged by the dark side, but some of the people who came in gathering fell for it. But majority of the people who came in for the gathering, they weren't even falling for the tactic. They were watching and eyewitnessing what is going on and peacefully protesting. Freedom is important for them. It is very important for all of you to take an action peacefully to say no to opposition. That's what they were doing. They were just standing there and eyewitnessing what's going on inside of the building, even though they cannot really see what's going on. They could see the smoke, or they could see some people fighting on the top of the top area of the building. So they were watching, so many people watching. But these people weren't storming into the building and creating chaos, because we would say because they had intellectual awakening, that led them to spiritual awakening as well. We are not saying because they're Christian and they become more spiritual. We are saying they started to find their own connection to the divine. Some incidents were happening in the building, but no one was saying, let's get into the building, and then no one was doing that. There are always some group, they choose to use their physical objection, no matter what group you are. But the most important thing you have to notice is what the majority decide to do. So that's was very notable experience for us to eyewitness your evolution as a species. And we were there energetically to make sure everything goes smoothly according to the plan. And your president is our ally. US has been in the hand with negatively oriented extraterrestrial groups, which is the ruler of your planet, along with their descendants. But he is, after the President Kennedy, he is the president who decided to join your planet as a part of Galactic Federation. And we're waiting for you to go through your ascension so you can be the part of our peaceful organization. So this was extremely notable experience for us to eyewitness, even though we are there energetically to make sure people's vibration will be stable.
Mm-hmm.
The city of Washington, D.C. is not exactly high vibrational place. So it was easy ground to be taken over. So many of us, and including Army of Angels, were there at the event to make sure. So people are connected to their light, people are connected to their divine, people are connected to their higher selves. So even though this event was planned to go well for so-called dark side, it didn't go well as 100% as they expected to be. Because they wanted all of the people who are there to storm into the building, which didn't happen. They were in front of the building or more of the lawn area and watching what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the videotaping what's going on, and texting what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they were peacefully protesting because they wanted to, the reason for them to be there was waiting for their voting to count and find out what is going on. So this disruption happened and they decided to see what's going on. But none of them had the intention to join this violent action. they just instead they just stand there peacefully to show their objection, which was indeed a peaceful protest.
Mm. So it sounds like it's quite crucial that Trump stays as a president. It's
Yes,
important.
because he decided to be with us.
Okay. So I guess we will wait and see what is going to happen within the next days, right? Because the inauguration is coming very soon.
We would say you will find out a lot of different truth, and you have nothing to worry about who will be the head of your country. The route inauguration, how inauguration goes, might be different this year. January 20th inauguration might extend or delay. Depends on which route the president takes to awaken the mass. But what you have to aware of is we are all here to create peace in the universe, and the president decided to be in that part of the federation. So he's not only having minority of his team, but we are with him. So he's in a good hand. Your role is to make sure to stay with love and the light and express your Christ consciousness during this seemingly chaotic event, which has started yesterday, and you will start to see a lot of different truth revealed to mass public. And your job is to stay calm and then stay in love so you can help others who are mind controlled and didn't know exactly what was happening or happened to them in the long history of the humankind. In order to have the victory and the real awakening, you always have to see something unpleasant and have to go through some sort of chaos. And you are the one who is calming people around you and helping their anxiety, helping their breakdown of their beliefs are not as solid as they thought. So you will be very busy from this year and on.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's just that sometimes I wonder, how are we going to win this game when there is seemingly so many groups involved in this, and there are so many connections and entanglements and so many different organizations within this whole thing, what we call the dark
You have to understand that we always have been telling you to not to focus dark versus light. As far as this game goes, we have already won. But that is not our goal of ascension. It's about we ascend together.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on right now, even physically, the president could have called military tribunal. As the head of the commander, he could use all of the military action to bring the justice. He didn't do that.
Mm.
He gave the opportunity for the dark side to come to the senses or bring themselves back to the light. So innately, he's practicing the attitude toward ascension. How do you accept your enemy? Are you going to keep on fighting them or give them a chance to flip themselves over to the light? Because when you are keeping fighting on the other side, this fight energy or hate energy, which is very heavy 3D, 4D energy, which doesn't align with 5D. So when many of you are feeling that way, it's delay your ascension. This is why we exactly told all of you to not to focus on dark versus light. But since this is going on, the light already has won because you chose to go for the road of ascension. There is no turning back. What you're seeing is the group so-called dark is hanging on to what they have and they try to fight back to keep their world continue to exist. But energetically, it is impossible because as a collective, you have chosen to ascend. So this chaotic event is part of the ascension process for people to first intellectually start to get awakened. Then that's going to lead them for spiritual ascension because they have no longer have solid organization to look up to, such a religion, and they believe in everything you hear. Instead, you start to questioning or think of your own method to connect with your divine instead of through the organization. So that's what's overall is going on. And instead of focusing on the fight, because there's nothing to fight with, you have already won. It's about how do you clean up when everything is coming out to the open.
Mm-hmm.
So your job is not about fighting too dark. It's about helping out others who didn't know about this, and they'll be distressed and they'll be heartbroken, they'll be panicked, they'll be full in fear, they'll be completely unstable because they have no one to lean on. They thought they could lean on some political party or political figure or religious figure to bring them miracle. Then they're going to start realizing it's not about that. You have to be independent and you have to find your own strength and own love. So you don't have to lean on anyone, anything as your savior.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Ashtar. So just to review what you were just trying to say to us today is that we should keep the faith, even if things might look a little bit uglier for a while until they start to get better.
Yes.
Okay, I understand that. Ashtar, I would like to ask you a question regarding our wonderful vessel for these transmissions, Erica, because she was guided to be in Washington, D.C. actually yesterday, be there in the physical. What was the reason why? What was the significance of her being there physically?
She had to be there as a vessel because we knew this energetic interference will happen. And when she is there, we could go with her physically. So she could emit not only her vibrations, but ours and army of her angelic guides to emit high frequency to the field, which will help the people around her or people exist in her areas will be connected to their divine source energy instead of to fear or hate. So because we understood this will be happening, we wanted to send our crew members there. Some of our crew members are there, but Erica is not really interested in politics, so she wouldn't be the one who would be joining the march every single time because she doesn't believe in political system or government structures, because she is aware of how 5D and up we don't have any government. So she doesn't believe in those structures. So we had to talk to her while she was sleeping and explain to her how important it is for her to be there. So we had to have a little meeting. And then she agreed to be there. So she woke up. Of course, she didn't remember the content of the meeting. But she woke up and she felt, oh, I have to be there. I don't know why, but I have to be there. So she did. But it was all planned. We made sure she gets into the right hostel. She will have a good transportation. And during this stay, she'll be well protected. We planned out everything for her so she can do her mission as our vessel to provide high frequency energies while this stuff is going on. And she left when her job was over.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Is there any last message for us today before we close this session?
No, we don't have any message, but just remember, Earth herself decided to ascend on December 21st. So that was basically the last chance if the dark side had any kind of opportunity to turn over. And now everything physically will ascend. So before the ascension, a lot of dark things are going on and the dark things will come out. And it is very important for you to help others and also look within you, a self, to clear all this darkness or fear within yourself, which is very important.
That's a great advice. Thank you.
Indeed. This is Ashtar from Ashtar Command. We are here to serve all of you.
Thank you, Erica.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, so those of you who are interested in Ashtar channeling, we do some of the stuff in my YouTube. So you can go there. The link is on the description. And you can also find me as Erica Fruzono, and you can type that and you can probably find my link.
So you're gonna find all the links below in the description box under the video, all of Erica's links, all of my links if you want to find us on the internet. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, much love.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.